And whatever you do, don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Anyone wondered? I just made a sweet charisma roll because I made a joke, so you guys laughed.
Nice, you got a 19 charisma. That's a successful joke. Awesome. So if I can remember, the last thing that I described you guys doing was going through that portal after you solved the riddles, and then you were in this really dark place, right?
So we went through. I remember the maze.
Yeah, the labyrinth kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I think we managed to fight them, but I think.
And it was that old night ghost thing, right?
Yeah, there was a knight, and you basically solved his riddle, and that he sort of explained. He explained his situation to you, and then he showed you how to open this portal to where the beast that you're tracking, where it goes when it goes through this labyrinth. Basically, you're sort of.
Oh yes, now I remember.
Yeah, you're hot on its tail, as it were. Does that ring a bell for you guys?
It does, yes.
Cool.
Are we? By the way, oh no. Okay, here we go. That's the map. How do I? Oh right. So now I cannot see Christina's name. Does that matter? Oh no. On my screen, I only have my guy.
What do you mean when you're looking at what screen?
Just looking at that map bit. Oh, Christina can see her name, and I can see. Okay.
Boom. All right. I think we're in a good space. Okay. So let me describe to you what you see. Basically, you look around, and there's this sort of wind howling in an undiscernible direction, and there's a forested sort of silhouette. There's a forest silhouetted around you, but there's very little light. It's like twilight, and the forest stretches in every direction, and you hear very little sounds. Occasionally there'll be like a twig that gets rustled and hits the ground, but everything else is just this nightscape. What do you do?
Christina, you can like detect magic and shit, right? Let's see if this this work gets to.
Sorry, your audio's cutting in and out a little bit there.
Yeah, no, we just can you hear us properly now?
Yeah.
Just let's see. How did we find? Oh yeah, so yeah, that's it. Then find the sort of spells and shit. I only have
features
one.
And traits. There.
Is it divine sense? Sorry, we just don't remember very well what stuff is called.
That's okay. It's been a while.
You can detect good and evil until the end of the trade. If it says anything, so we're basically just standing there, and we hear stuff around us, but not specifically from any given sort of direction. We can't get a sense of anything alive around us, right?
No, everything seems non-alive around you, and the wind seems to be coming from like one direction then another, and it seems to change in an erratic sort of way.
And it's dark.
Yes, it's kind of like just after sunset, basically.
But we can see stars. There's like a sky and stuff.
There's a sky, but you don't see any stars.
All right. Do we have like a?
I feel like the X-Files soundtrack should have played there.
I approve.
How is the terrain?
Well, it seems flat at the moment. You're in the middle of a forest, and the trees seem very tall around you, and there's this smell of decay everywhere. You see sort of the forest changes ahead of you a little bit, but it's just silhouettes from this distance. You're not sure what terrain features lie beyond like a couple hundred feet.
Can I use a torch?
Yes, I believe you can.
Is it dark enough? So we need it.
Yes, it would definitely improve your visibility of things.
Brilliant. Let's lit that torch, and I mean, can we smell anything? Is there a smell? Certain smell of sort?
Yeah, it's a smell of decay, so sort of like halfway between compost and rotting vegetables.
So probably this is where the monster is taking shit to eat. It's got a lair. Can we? Does it just generally smell, or can we like?
Can we hear anything?
Yeah, there's like around us, but nothing
Okay.
like rustling leaves and every now and then.
Anyway, so you're in a dark forest and you were describing the smell and something about the smell.
Do I? By the way, when I use a torch, do I need to put that in?
Does she need to change the quantity essentially?
Oh, you can just make a note of it. It's not a huge problem. Like, it takes a long time for a torch to actually be used up.
Okay. It says here, burns for 1 hour.
There you go. We'll see where you are after an hour.
Should we just start wandering in a direction then? 'Cause currently, we don't actually have any leads on which direction to go. It's just anywhere. Hello.
Yeah.
We'll just start walking in a random direction then, just to see
Okay.
if we see or hear anything that changes our minds.
Cool. You walk for about 5 or 10 minutes and you start to see that shape in the distance start to coalesce into a more distinctive arrangement. And what you see is the sort of series of rock formations and tunnel entrances that you went in earlier when you entered the troglodyte cave system. Except you're seeing it now as like a pale version of it, like an imitation, almost shimmering in the air, like you could reach out and touch it, but it's not there. You can see it, almost like an illusion, but you can't hold it.
So we're like in a different dimension where we can see the same thing. Oh, it's like the upside down, isn't it?
Can we walk through it?
Are we at it?
Yeah, you've reached it after about 5 or 10 minutes of walking.
I guess we'll walk inside.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
You walk inside and you see, much as you did when you entered the actual troglodyte caves, you see the sort of like tunnel opening out into a central cavern and some tunnels leading off of it. But you don't see any creatures. You just see sort of the environment and this sort of gray shimmery outline of the environment.
Are we grey and shimmery too? If I look at my hand, am I normal?
No, you're normal style.
I'm fully animated. Fully rendered. All right. Well, let's.
If this was an old school cartoon, you would be that slightly different shade of color that indicates that this object is going to move in the next scene.
Yeah, exactly. Not just the background matte painting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do we just continue inwards?
Yeah.
Can
do
you-
we want to do a sense check?
Yeah, Christina can like sense evil and shit, right?
I think
That
so.
paladin skill.
Yeah, she's pretty
Divine
dope.
Sense.
Yeah.
Divine sense.
Do we want to use it now? Because I need a long rest. I think.
I think you have like 3 uses of it, maybe.
Okay.
It doesn't quite say in here.
Are you on the D&D Beyond character sheet?
Yeah. You can use this feature 0 times per long rest. It says.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Well, it's like a minimum of, I think it's based on your modifier. So we'll say, let's just say it's 1 time until we clarify what the specifics of that is. It might not be calculating it correctly. Because you're
Well, let's
paladin.
do
What's your charisma modifier?
that. -1. Christina's -1.
That's why. Charisma, we can shuffle that around later. Charisma is like quite an important stat for a paladin. You can still be a cool paladin with a -1. It's just, it means certain abilities are going to be like rounded to the nearest whole.
Yeah. I think I remember when we created like the rock type of paladin.
Yeah, I mean, she's got 17 constitution and 8 charisma.
You're just this meaty person. Oh, this is great. But not very chatty. Okay, cool. So,
Nope.
what is
Bit
it
like
that you...
me in real life.
Very
Not very chatty and like bulky and big, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think that is an accurate description. So, sorry, what is it that you said that you were going to do?
The divine sense.
Oh, yes, hit it up. What's the range? Like 60 feet?
Yeah. Yeah, 60 feet.
Okay. You use your divine sense and you reach out with your divine awareness, and you don't pick up any particularly strong signals, but there are like tracks on the ground that you notice when you reach out with your senses, and they're big footprints, kind of similar to the ones outside the troglodyte cave entrance that you went via. And you recognize these as most likely being the tracks of the creature that you're trying to find. You also notice other tracks of other creatures that you don't recognize, that sort of seem to swirl around in circles, stopping and starting at random intervals. It's very disconcerting.
Does it feel like these are the tracks then? Like how big are they?
The main creature ones or the other ones?
The other ones.
The other ones kind of range in size from what you would imagine like a panther style size, like this, and then the other ones are kind of like smaller. And then there's the big main creature's footprints.
Your baby.
Might be baby. I mean, it might be one of these. Got children, and it's got or little spawns, and it's got feeding them.
You also get that weird sort of like hairs on the back of your neck standing up feeling like someone is watching you, and then when you turn around there's nothing there, but it's this weird unsettling sort of feeling.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let me just double check, since I've got several characters now, and I'm so into my other guy. I just want to make sure. Okay. I got. Oh yeah, this was that thing when I accidentally added a boomerang +2, which probably shouldn't. Action. Is that where I? Well, I got my quarterstaff. I got my quarterstaff up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christina will lead the way.
Like always.
You're the meaty one, remember? And then I think we should just press on, right? We should just continue.
Yeah.
Because this is a strange place we're in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so you continue on, and you get this sense of unease, and everything feels kind of. You hear like again a tiny twig just fall off of a nearby tree in the howling wind, and then you turn around quickly to see what it was, and there's nothing. It's just a twig. And then suddenly, in the distance off to your right, you see this bolt of lightning hit like a small hill, and then there's a woman standing there, silhouetted by the light still fading from the lightning, and she seems very like strong and armored, and she's holding a sword, and she starts like striding towards you. What do you do?
In what manner is she striding? Is she striding with the sword sort of forward, or is she just like holding it as in?
She's holding it by her side. It doesn't look like she's brandishing it at you or in any way.
Then I will mirror what she's doing with the sword with my staff.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like so, if she raises the sword, I will raise the quarterstaff. But otherwise, let's stay cool. See what the battle lady wants. Right?
Yeah, I'll be holding my war on my side if I need to go into battle.
Ooh,
I can
you
take it up, because if I do two hands, then I can like I get stronger. So I can have it on my shoulder holding
Yeah, Christina should stand with a warhammer on her shoulder like that, and I should have my quarterstaff like behind my neck and have my hands like that on it, like be like, what?
Okay, you guys take up poses as if this is the album cover of your rap album. And,
Yes, exactly that.
and you see this princess-looking character sort of come over to you and say, "Oh my goodness, you're so loud. What are you doing? What? You're in my way. What is it? What do you want?"
Who are you, lady?
"That is of no concern. I am here looking for something and you are in the way. What are you looking for so I can help you and get rid of you?"
Well, we're tracking a monster that's killing people back home.
Okay, all right. The creature. I think I know the one you mean. All right. You're not going to be able to get there until you get the blood of a monstrosity. Okay, the creature you're following is an abomination of nature, and the way it moves between this world and the physical world is with its own blood. It sort of creates this movable property. So the second ingredient you're going to need is these special spectral flowers that bloom both here and in your world. You guys are familiar with flowers, right? You know, petals, stems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so the flowers are over there, and she points sort of back the way you came, a bit off to the left. There's a cavern like 400 feet over there, and there are these flowers blooming just outside of it, okay? You're going to need those. Remember that. Do you remember?
Yes.
You get the sense that she's very patronizing, much like a queen talking to her subjects. And she says, okay, once you have the blood of a monstrosity, which you're going to need to find around here, that thing that's been stalking you probably for the last 20 minutes, you need that thing's blood, okay? And then you put that on the flowers over there, and it will open a portal. That's probably how you got here. Did you come from the labyrinth? Is that how you got here?
Yes.
Okay. That will open a portal that will take you to the lair of this creature that you're looking for, and out of my way. Does that seem like a good deal?
Yeah. Can we? Where are we exactly?
All the forest kind of looks the same. You've gone past these little illusory.
Oh no, sorry. I asked her like,
Oh.
what is this place?
This is the Shadowfell. This is the place where decay comes from. This is what causes your food to go off when you leave it out on the table for a few days. This is the essence of chaos and decay. You've never heard of the Shadowfell before?
No, I haven't.
Does this look like a face that know what you're talking about?
Well, knowing its name won't help you. You're going to need to be on your toes if you're going to get the blood from this creature. It is unpleasant, very fast. You're going to need to probably lay a trap for it. It's attracted to blood. So however you want to try and lure it without killing yourself is up to you.
Can I clarify something with her? So, you were saying that the beast has probably been shadowing us, or watching us for the last 20 minutes. What do you mean by that?
There is one particular creature that roams around this area of the Shadowfell, and it likes to wait until its prey is in a more vulnerable position, like when you try to go to sleep, and then it kills you and eats you.
Okay.
Chucks.
So we need to stay awake when he needs to.
We should lay a trap.
Yeah.
She looks at her watch, even though watches haven't been invented yet, and sort of starts tapping her foot at you. Is there anything else? Do you have all the things you need?
Well, you tell me. Why don't you help us get the blood, and we'll get out of here quicker and be out of your way.
I have a lot of work to do before I find what I'm looking for here, okay? I've got to find Winter's Dark Bite. With that sword, I can throw this piece of junk away, and she gestures at her sword, and fix this place, and then I can go back to ruling my own kingdom. But I need to find it, and I can't find it, so I'm very busy doing that. I can't be helping you, okay?
Right. What's your name?
That is of no concern.
I
And then
mean,
she starts walking back towards that hillside that she came in on. What did you say?
No, I just said it is a little bit.
How about we help each other?
I mean, she was clearly not keen.
She's about 25 feet away and she says, "You'll be fine. Just remember the blood. It's attracted to blood."
Right.
Have you
Okay,
guys
that's
seen
fine.
The Importance of Being Earnest before?
No.
Oh, okay. It's a play/movie, and she's kind of a little bit like one of these characters. Sorry, go on.
Oh, right. Well, I think we should leave that lady alone
Okay.
because I don't think she's gonna help out. I think we should probably go find where those flowers are, so we know where they are, and then we
Yeah.
should figure out a trap. No?
Yeah. I agree.
We'll see if we can go and find where she pointed towards for the flowers, just so we know where they are.
Okay, you're gonna head off in that direction?
Hmm.
Okay. You walk for about probably 10-15 minutes until you see this sort of cavern entrance. And unlike all the grey, illusory kind of terrain, this has a more substantial color and you can feel it, and it's a real cave. And there's these flowers that grow outside of it that look very similar to the one that the knight sort of crushed in his hand when he sent you guys here. And they have a sort of holographic quality. You know, like Pokemon cards, when you move them and they sort of go, they animate, like it looks, that's what the flowers look like.
Right. I wonder if they're valuable. Should we just pick a whole? Oh, well, it does grow in our world, too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
did
but
say that.
I think we need more than one at least. Backup, and I have a backpack bit.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll just pick a bunch of them.
Okay, I'll say you pick 6.
Sure.
Cool.
Uh,
Go on.
Then we need to find a good place for
Do we want to go to the layer or do a trap first? Because I was thinking. Yeah, so if we put blood on the.
But
flower.
we need it blood. Trap first. So we need to get it. But yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we need if we're going to fight it to get its blood to get to its lair?
No, the creature that you need the blood of is a different creature than the one you're tracking. The one you're tracking is huge, and it uses its own blood to travel between the dimensions. You're looking for a smaller creature, probably the one belonging to those slightly smaller, like panther-sized footprints.
Trap that, or just injure it, I suppose. Get some blood.
So is it still in this world kind of dark, and is it time then to go asleep? Can pretend to be vulnerable.
I guess it doesn't matter what time. 10.
8.
Yeah. Or I'm thinking if there's a way if we can kind of cut ourselves a bit, put that on do it like a fake body somehow, smear some blood on it, and then hide. Wait for it to come up to it, and then we pounce on it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Can you make a perception check, please, Medela?
First.
Go here.
Oh, perception. There you go. It came through. You can see it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, with a 5, you thought you felt something like a residual effect of your of your divine sense from earlier. You felt that you almost picked up something as you were walking towards this cavern, but then it disappears and you can't like track it down. Like trying to remember the name of a song that you once liked, it's sort of like out of your reach, and you think to yourself, that's a bit weird.
Yeah. Something is around us, isn't it?
Yeah, so we need to prepare the trap now.
Let's see. Do we have shit that we can kind of make a little? I mean, it is watching us. Maybe it's better to boots, blanket. I'm thinking, take some bedroll. see what else what are we carrying? I got some. I got a disguise kit.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Pouch of cosmetics, hair dye, a small prop, lets you create disguises that you can change your physical appearance. Okay. I guess that won't really. If this is an animal, this is gonna be smelling us and shit. Anyway, I don't think we fake hair on a bedroll and it thinks it's a person. But it might smell blood.
Yeah, but I also have ropes. What we do, put out like a rope ground for it to come to us. Then like string back and then hang up.
Can we make traps? Are you a set a trap?
Yeah, with my rope. Do you make like a loop, hang it tree, so we can pull that when cover it up, so it doesn't the actual rope.
Yeah, it's just. I guess you either need to have an ability traps, actually know how it works. So I think those traps is not just rope that you just.
Normally, like.
Normally when I'm out hunting with rope. Okay. Well, I mean, we can do that. Okay.
Or lasso.
So, are there any of these little trees around?
There's plenty of trees around.
So what we're gonna do, right? Christina is gonna take some of her rope. Why don't you explain what you're gonna do? Meanwhile, I'll be doing something.
So, so what I was thinking is put the rope out on the ground with like a loop kind of thing, and then hang it through from the tree, so that when we pull from the other side, it kind of goes together, so that it can like catch the person or the animal, so it can catch the leg of the animal.
Okay, cool. Like a slip knot, basically.
Like a snare type.
Yeah, like a snare.
Trap.
Okay, cool. So what are you gonna put in the snare as like bait?
So while she is doing that, I'll take my bedroll, right, and then I'll take a little knife and I'll just do a little cut on my hand or somewhere, just smear a little bit of blood on the bedroll, and then I'll use my my disguise kit. I don't know exactly what's in the disguise kit, but I'm sure there are bits and bobs so I can sort of fake a person a little bit with the bedroll and just some stuff, and with some blood for the smell. Yeah, and some leaves to sort of cover the rope and stuff. So we'll try to fake a person inside the snare.
Okay, cool. Can you make a survival? Whoever wants to do it, I'll say you're doing it together. So one of you can make the survival check with advantage, or both of you can make separate survival checks. It's up to you.
Let's see. How do I survival? Did you get him?
Let me see. Okay, cool. So that's one check. Are you gonna roll with advantage, or is your one punch gonna? Oh, there was two. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, so a 9 and a 13. Okay, I'll say with the 13, you hide the snare with a degree of competence. You know, there's loose leaves on top of the rope, and the bedroll, however, just kind of looks like a blood-stained bedroll. So the scent. The scent is probably going to be doing most of the work in that like elaborate deception that you've created. Maybe if you had some straw and some farm clothes, you could have made like a passable scarecrow, but at the moment your lack of materials is on display for all to see. Okay, cool. So do you just stand there and wait for it to come? What do you do in anticipation?
I'm thinking I'm gonna climb a tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna climb ooh, dude. So when the thing is in it, I'll be standing up there with the rope, right? and I'll jump down so that the snare, so so I'm not just pulling it, but jumping from above to use.
Okay, so you don't think it'll be drawn to blood smell on your hand?
Well, I'll just cover it up, won't I?
Shouldn't I be jumping? I have to be around there as bait.
Sure. Well, no. Obviously not, because that's why I just made the bait. We already have a bait. Yes, and needless to say, I treat the tiny little cut I did, which is
that's fine. You can bandage it. It's fine.
No, but we can just climb.
Okay,
You climb the tree with your snare, and I'll climb a different. We'll just climb nearby trees.
Okay.
And wait.
Okay. I'll say it's not that difficult to climb trees. I'll say that you managed to do that, and you wait. 1 minute goes by, 2 minutes go by, 5 minutes go by, and you hear the tiniest little like twigs start to like not break, but just get like pushed around in the undergrowth. And you start to see a dark figure about the size of a pony start to like inch its way towards the snare, and it starts to like sniff the bloodstained bedroll once, sniffs it twice, and then it sort of like leans its head in towards the bedroll to like bite it and start like pulling it out of the snare.
That's when I pull.
All right, I'm going to say this is probably... Give me either an athletics or dexterity check to see how quickly and geniusly you spring this trap.
So what do you say? Either
dexterity, which is just you click on your dexterity modifier and it will bring up its own separate little button to send it to VTT, or you can do a athletics check, which is in your list of skills.
Sure, I guess.
Whichever one is higher, basically, you can just pick.
30, and then the other one was what?
You do either or.
Oh, he said the highest one.
No, I'm saying you can choose which one to roll. So, for example, what's your athletics modifier?
Athletics modifier was +1, and dexterity modifier was +2.
Okay, so this makes more sense. All right, so with the 12, you manage to jump off, and the snare doesn't quite get this creature's head because you were a couple of milliseconds late, but it does grab like one of its arms, and then you hear this like high-pitched screaming sound, like a little bit like ultrasonic sound, the sound they use and then glass breaks, and it's like very painful to listen to, but the creature seems to be like hanging by its foreleg and starting to like gnaw at the rope. What do you guys do? But wait, before that, I'm going to show you what it looks like.
Ooh.
Dum, 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 dum.
Is that through Discord or? Oh, there it is.
Okay, so I'll say Medela just jumped off of a tree, and you're kind of in the other tree, probably there. And I'm going to do a little drawing. I'll say this is a tree, and this is the other tree that you just jumped down from. And this is your kind of snare going like that. There you go. And I will say, let's roll initiative just so everybody's on the same page. Dum 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 dum.
Done. Memo.
Ah, me too.
Everyone.
Now I need to roll. Where's my little? Where is it? There it is. Now if I click initiative.
Oh, I'll say. So Christina's is the first one.
Okay, cool.
She clicked and nothing happened. Clicked
That's
again.
Right. I'm just gonna do a
We're
manual.
gonna hire on the second one.
16, 17. All right, so.
I got a really shit one.
And now I'm just gonna add that. So what am I trying to do here? Oh, like this. So Medela's was 12, right?
Ooh,
Yes.
turn order. That's cool. We got that.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, Roll20 is pretty cool once you sort of got everything rolling along.
Some of these things would have been quite good to have when we're playing normally as well.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's kind of weird that some of the most helpful features are purely digital which is lacking like the most important thing, which is everyone sitting around the table.
Yeah.
If they could just
I know.
take this one couple of like digital functions and separate them as like a Game Boy sized thing, then that would really be helpful.
Yeah, or I guess we can just bring our laptops next time.
Yeah, I mean that too. Awesome.
But it
Okay.
would take away some of the charm, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll learn what we can from this experience, and whenever we can actually see each other in person, then we'll just do that.
Yeah.
All right. So first up is the Demogorgon. It is going to try to bite into its ropes and see if it can free itself. But it's quite a thick rope, so it might take it like 2 turns in order to do it. But it's going to try to bite. Okay. An attack of 7? No. It fails to make purchase on the rope, but it gets to try to claw at it. With a 16, it manages to get some purchase, and it starts to fray the rope. You can see it scrabbling about, like, but it's only got 1 claw, so it can't do as good a job, but it looks like the rope is starting to fray. And then it's going to use the rest of its movement to sort of flail about in a high-pitched sonic sort of manner. Next up is Medela.
So, I'm going to try and hold the rope, but with my warhammer, trying to knock the Demogorgon unconscious.
Okay, so you're going for like non-lethal damage, basically. So
Yeah.
roll an attack with your warhammer, and I'll say you move over here.
Why wouldn't it's going to try and kill us? We're going to have to kill it.
You remember from what the princess was telling you that what you need from it is some of its blood. You don't necessarily need its corpse. You just need it as like an ingredient for the spell.
So we just need to make sure to injure it, and if it runs away, then fuck it. Sticks around, then fuck it.
We'll kill it. Okay. Yeah, so I'll try to injure it and knock it, so it'll be easier to get some blood from it.
Cool. Roll. So you can either click the Warhammer attack action on your character sheet, or you could roll manually. Anytime you want to do a manual roll, on the left-hand side of this Roll20 window is like a little dice icon, like a Photoshop sidebar. And then you can hover over that and choose like a D20 or whatever it is you want to roll, and it'll just roll it for you.
I'm just going to try it.
Nice, you got a 4.
That was me. I just
Yeah.
tried it.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay,
Because it's
so
cool to see how it works.
when I click the Warhammer, I click beyond 20.
Nice. Okay. So actually, you clicked the damage. You've got to click the other.
Building.
So, for example, what is your strength score? Like, what is your strength modifier in the character sheet?
Yeah, +1.
+1. Cool.
Oh, it's because it was.
Strength 13 +1.
Okay. Then you add your proficiency, which is +2. So that means you add 3 to the attack. So now, if you go roll that d20 that you just rolled, we can add your 3 to it and see if you hit.
D
20. Yeah, that's the one.
and 2, 3.
No, just roll 1, and then we'll add it manually, like in our heads.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. With 20, you definitely hit. So now we'll take the first damage. Now, do you have a shield at all, or are you holding this thing with 2 hands?
I have a shield.
And
have
it's like equipped.
cloak of protection. I have
Okay. Well, let's just say you're holding it in 2 hands because it doesn't seem like you have a shield. Actually, paladins usually do.
a heavy armor, Shane.
Okay, let's just assume you don't have one for the moment. So that means you do 11
Yeah.
damage to it, which is a good, really solid hit. So
Yeah.
minus 11. Cool. So this thing, you see that your huge Warhammer blow strikes it in the side, and you see the bludgeoning damage starts to like pierce the skin a little bit, and it starts to bleed at that point of impact. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Is is the like weaker hit?
Because of your hit, is it tangibly weaker? Well, it's not on death's door or anything, and it's still sort of trying to bite through its ropes. So it doesn't, like, the only way to like knock it out, for example, would be to do like all of the damage to its hit points, and at the very last minute you would say that you want to do non-lethal damage, and then you would knock it out then. But up until that point, it's really just damage.
Okay.
What if you pull the rope harder so it's like flopping about, so it can make it harder for you to scratch at the rope?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Cool, let's try that. Okay, so that would be, roll a d20 for me. This would be, what would that be? I'll say dexterity. So just roll the d20, and then your dexterity modifier is...
But she can just do a dexterity thing.
Oh
right?
yeah, you could just do a dexterity check. Yeah, go for that. Okay, with a 5, you start to like pull on it like a church bell, and it starts to swing the creature around, but you haven't quite got the rhythm right for it to be like really big swings, so it just seems to be like just a bit disoriented. Okay, next up is OP.
Right. I'm gonna jump down from my tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna run up and do one of these. Let's see, where am I? Oh yeah, okay. No, the flurry of blows is the other thing. Right. So I'm gonna punch him with my quarterstaff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So the flurry of blows is after I've taken an attack action. I can spend a key to do 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just attack with the quarterstaff as normal then.
Okay, you get advantage on it because you guys are flanking the creature.
I'll just see if does this work now. It's gonna do damage.
Oh, there you go. You see, that one is showing the roll and the damage, which is how it should be showing up. But maybe there's something more information we need to provide on Christina's sheet in order for all of the little macros to like stitch together. There must be like...
Okay.
You might not be wielding the items that you're holding or something, or no, that it wouldn't show up otherwise. Or yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but it's like
Underneath that I will. Maybe if you could.
And then I'm just gonna see if this works for Christina's as well now. I did exactly what I
oh
did.
yeah. What was different?
No, it's an attack and not too quick.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Awesome. Okay, so with a 22, you definitely hit. And are you holding a shield? No, you're not. You're a monk. So in that case, that is... What? Why is it calculating it differently?
Bludgeoning and two-handed. I don't really understand what that was.
1d8 plus 3 or 1d6 plus 3. That's so weird. You rolled better on the lower roll. Okay, so it's calculating it accurately, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. So we'll say that...
But I don't understand, because so two-handed...
You actually rolled a better dice on the two-handed one, but you just got a lower result on the better dice. You're adding +3 to either roll, but basically you just got really lucky with your one-handed roll.
So the bit that says bludgeoning is what?
That's one-handed.
Oh, so if I would have held it in one hand, it would have done 7. Now
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's so dumb.
Anyway, you crack it over the head and you see it sort of like look dazed and start to just try to clear those little cartoon birdies from its head. And it's not really bleeding from that hit necessarily, but it's still bleeding from the side from the warhammer. Do you want to do a flurry of blows?
I do want to do a flurry.
Okay, so mark off one of your key, and then your unarmed strikes are slightly different than your quarterstaff hits. They got like a different calculation.
I filled in one of the key points, so that's you.
Perfect.
Cool. That's neat how that works, actually.
Yeah, they're just like spell slots, it sounds like.
Monk feature. Let's see. Class feature. No, it's not. Let me just see if I can find it. Is it an act? Flurry of blows. There we go.
Oh, nice. 23. Okay, so this is just 1 hit.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
So if
I need
it's
to-
2, then you can do that again.
Because how did flare of blows work again? Like,
You can do 2 unarmed strikes after you've hit with your attack action. Or after any attack action, regardless of whether it's hit or not.
make 2 unarmed strikes. Okay, but I still do flare of blows and not an unarmed. Okay, so I'll just press it again then.
Cool.
Oh, nice. Fuck me. I'm rolling really high on the d20.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, so those all hit. So that's 4 bludgeoning damage because you just very fortunately rolled a 1. Unfortunately, rolled a 1 both times. Okay, so that means you do.
But I'm like, it's like, hey, hey, hey. Doing
you
no damage,
do-
but I hit.
You do 8 bludgeoning damage. All right, so is that the end of your turn? Do you want to move anywhere or interact with an object or say something?
Ooh,
Do you have something to take blood in?
we'll just smear it on the flowers. We just need to make sure it bleeds, and then we just kill it, and then we just dip the flowers in. We'll figure that out. Too late to go and kill it first. I'm gonna say, yield, you monster.
Okay, you get the sense that it doesn't understand you because it keeps thrashing. It keeps thrashing around and just squealing in this high-pitched noise. So is that the end of your turn?
Indeed, yes.
Okay. On the beginning of its turn, you see some of its like bruises and wounds start to stitch up a little bit. It doesn't look like undamaged, but it looks partially less damaged than before. And it's going to use the rest of its action to try to... Sorry, the rest of its turn to try to, like, escape its situation. So it's going to try and bite. Okay, so that one, it definitely hits. Okay, and with this action, it basically bites through the rope and lands on the ground and then turns towards Medela, and it's going to make a claw attack. Okay, 21, I'm pretty sure, hits you. Yeah, and that's 6 slashing damage.
What is the second number? Is this
That's if it's an advantage.
Do I put damage, 6 damage myself?
Yeah, you minus 6 from your health, unless you have resistance to bludgeoning damage. Oh, sorry, slashing damage. Cool. And it's about to strike you with its other claw, but then it sort of like limps a little bit and realizes that its other claw hasn't got feeling back into it yet. So it just sort of roars in your face. Next up is Medela's turn. So Yuka, to answer your question, it gives you 2 numbers, and the first one is the first roll, and the second one is the second roll. And if the creature had advantage on the roll, I would just take the highest one.
I see.
What was that, Christina?
No, I was just thinking, one of the things I do have is sort of ability.
A what ability?
Healing ability.
Oh, nice.
So should I? Oh no.
Whatever. Don't do unarmed strike.
No. I was like, that's a funny thing.
The Warhammer is doing loads of damage.
Okay, so I should be using the Warhammer then. Why is that +4? That one.
That's to hit. I don't know. I guess it's based on a different modifier. Like
Maybe I've calculated your modifier wrong. I mean, Warhammer would usually be strength plus proficiency, but you might have some other thing that's giving you an additional like point to hit coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Because her hit / DC on the Warhammer is +0, but the dagger is +4.
Oh, that's because the dagger is coming from dexterity. And a dagger is a dexterity weapon, so you add your dexterity modifier plus proficiency, which is +2, so you end up with 4.
And her dexterity is insane. Yeah.
Because,
not
because
insane.
Warhammer two-handed also is stronger. I get extra attack.
Yeah, if you're using.
Yeah. Oh, I have like a magical light. Sacred. I feel that I'm really close to the Demogorgon, so I want to pull up my dagger so I can stab it.
Okay. Make an attack roll with your dagger. You're pretty close. I mean, it's not going to be... You don't have to go anywhere to stab it. Okay. So with a 10... where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. So you try to stab it, but you find a very, like, meaty part of its hide, and the blade just doesn't find purchase. And you're a little concerned now that you're face-to-face with this thing, and it is resisting your dagger. But you still see the little trickle of blood coming out of the slightly smaller abrasion that your warhammer caused. And that's what you observe. Is there anything else you would like to do, like movement or talk to OP?
Can I try and get OP to distract it so it looks away, and then that gives of striking it with the dagger and it ready.
You can't attack again.
No, but you can tell this to OP and say, hey, I have a plan, let's do this, and we'll see what OP does on his turn.
Well, I'm going to try my best anyway to punch it, which is the best type of distraction I can think of. Am I standing behind it now then?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are on either side of it because that's the flanking position that gives you advantage on your attack. Actually, yeah, you get advantage on your attack. I forgot. Roll your dagger attack again, please, Christina, to see if it does differently. Totally forgot about that. Okay, with an 11, you sort of play the moment back over in your head, and you realize, nah, I just picked the wrong spot. I picked the wrong spot. Cool. So OP,
I will attack again with the quarterstaff.
go for it. Okay, so you get advantage. So roll again. Oh, 19. That hits. So you do 10 damage.
Oof, 10 damage, bro.
Meaty shot.
It's the best distraction I can think of, huh?
Okay, so this one does draw blood in kind of its like cranium area, and it's sort of, again, it seems like it's getting a bit woozy, but it doesn't look like it's on death's door or anything. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I will spend another key.
Hit it up.
Let me just let's see, where did I just want to mark it before I forget. Oh yeah, here we go. Spend one key. And I'll just roll unarmed strike. No, you know what I'll do. Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. So the first flurry of blows. Okay, these ones with a 13 and a 7, you've done a little bit what Medela did, and you thought, oh, Medela knows what she's doing. She's a good fighter, and you start to punch that same area, and you realize it's just like stone, and it hurts your knuckles a little bit. And then the thing sort of looks over its shoulder at you and hisses and screams in your direction, and you get a little bit of spittle on your face.
God damn it.
Is there anything else you want to do?
Well, when it's looking at me and it's spitting in my face, I will spit right back and go, ah, to try and provoke it to attack me.
Okay. You see it see the spit land on its face, and then it has a look. I mean, its features are kind of just flaps of nothingness, and it doesn't really have an identifiable animal face, but if flaps could have an expression, it would be hurt that you would spit on it. Cool. So next up is the creature's turn, and you notice that the wounds that you inflicted start to like stitch themselves back up again, and you realize that this is probably a more dangerous encounter than you anticipated, because it's like the rate at which you're damaging it and the rate at which it's healing is sort of like you're just keeping it like not fully healthy, but it looks like you might have to try more like guerrilla tactics. The military part of your brain seems to be saying to you. And so it is going to turn around and attack the person who spat on it. Okay, so the first one is a bite. 7 though, it bites just like around your leg area, and it's a little bit dazed still, and it misjudges the distance. And then it tries with the claw, and again, it seems to have been emotionally damaged by this like saliva assault, and it can't get its shit together. But then you see it shakes off its other claw, and it seems to be working now, and it attacks for a 3rd time, and this time it does hit, and it does 12 damage.
Woo.
That's a spicy meatball.
I'm currently at 6 health.
Medela, you see like huge like stripes of blood just appear under this like monk tunic, like rippling abs everywhere, but just blood everywhere. You're a little concerned about his well-being.
God damn it.
Next up is Medela's turn.
I'm going to use my sacred weapon, channel divinity, and I imbue one weapon that I'm holding, so like the hammer, with massive energy, and it can strike with that one. It says with a minimum bonus of +1. I don't know that.
It imbues it with a minimum bonus of +1. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it gets +1 to hit.
But it says with a minimum bonus. Should she roll it?
So it says also if the weapon is not already maxed, comes.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so what you can do is if you just click on the spell that you're referring to, it'll give you a send to roll 20 button, and then we can read it. Okay, so you can imbue one weapon with positive energy for 1 minute, and you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls made with that weapon. Okay, because your charisma is low, it's a +1, whereas if your charisma was like as good as your dexterity, it would be a +2. So it's still better than it is. So for your for your dagger, for example, you get +4, but if you were to imbue the dagger, it would be a +5.
Ah, okay.
Cool.
So I was holding the dagger last time.
I mean, I would attack with the warhammer. Well, I guess to hit is +4. I guess it's better to hit it.
With a 5.
Yeah, so do you know which weapon you're going to imbue?
The dagger.
Okay, cool. As you cast this focus of holy energy onto your dagger, it starts emitting a bright light in 20 feet all around you, and you see the creature sort of like reel back from it and start to like take steps away from you, and it looks very unsettled by that. So that's your action. So you can also move or use a bonus action, but I don't know if you have bonus actions yet. And those are otherwise it's the end of your turn. Is there anything else you want to accomplish?
I have weapon fighting.
What weapon fighting?
It says in bonus attack.
Oh, if you have 2 weapon fighting as a bonus attack, you can use your dagger, but you just won't add your modifier. So basically, that means you don't add your modifier to the damage. So click your dagger as if you were going to attack with it. Nice. Oh, natural 20. Very nice. Okay, so that means we'll do... I don't like the way they calculate critical hits because I feel like it's not as exciting. So we're going to do a normal... Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so basically it's a 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 damage with your critical hit. Okay, cool. But you notice that this thing seems like very upset by the light, and it looks to be like squinting and looking for a way to get away almost. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Is it safe for me to heal the monk?
It would be, but I don't think your healing spell is a bonus action. You would need to wait till your next turn to do it.
It's a spell Sanctuary.
Sanctuary is cool, but again, like pretty much everything is an action to do, and the channel divinity is like an action. So that's your main thing that you do with your turn is done. But with 2 weapon fighting, you can attack with a bonus action as an offhand attack, like one dagger in your main hand and then the other dagger in like your left hand. Cool. Next up is OP.
I mean, I'm just gonna have to keep, because the best thing I can do is, I mean, we just need to decide, do I have that +2 boomerang? Is that a thing I have?
You have a boomerang, it's just not a +2 boomerang. I think you customized it like yourself or something?
Yeah, well, it was like in the list of things I could pick.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand, since it was a new character, I just thought, oh, well, why don't I pick the +2 one then?
Yeah, I think usually you would choose the boomerang during the equipment stage of the character builder.
Yeah.
And
then
it like gives you a specific one. Whereas I think you went into the equipment list, which is just like every item that exists in the D&D universe.
Yeah. No, that's right. Well, I will continue to attempt a smacking.
Okay. With the 13, you get much closer this time, but it hits like the cartilage of its ribs and it just sort of bounces off. But it seems to like not even know where you are. You get the sense it's like closing its eyes at the moment. Do you want to do anything else?
Well, I'll do another flare of.
Nice. Okay. So with the 19, you definitely connect and you do, wow, 7 bludgeoning damage. That's huge for a punch. Okay. So you get a really good punch in on its jaw and then you roll a natural 1 and you realize that when you punched it really well on its jaw, it hurt your fist a lot and you sort of like jump up and down trying to make the pain go away. Nice. Okay. So that's the end of your turn, I imagine.
Yes.
Cool. On its turn, it sort of you see its wounds start to stitch up, but then it also like turns and like runs away from the lights by about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It runs here and then it's going to run another 30 like over to here. And then you see its wounds start to like stitch up a little bit, but actually you saw that before. And you both get attacks of opportunity as it runs away. So you can do like your quarterstaff attack and you can do your dagger attack or whatever, and we'll see if they hit.
I have a longbow.
Yeah, but the attack of opportunity is just a melee weapon that it's like slashing at it as it runs away.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So do I then press dagger attack?
Yes.
Oof.
Oh, wow. Natural 20. This is huge. Okay. So, with the quarterstaff, you see it takes a substantial hit in the leg and it starts to like limp away basically with the strength of that hit. And then with the natural 20, we'll say, I don't know, let's just say you rolled a 2, which would be 4, 5, 6 damage. That means it goes down. Okay. And both those hits were solid hits. It still can move itself around. You get the sense this is a tough creature. And it sort of limps away into the darkness, basically. That's the end of its turn. On your turn, what would you like to do? Medela, actually roll a perception check for me.
Perception.
Mm-hmm. With a 3. Okay. With a 3, you don't notice very much. You feel the adrenaline sort of pumping through your body and you think, I don't know how much more of that I can take. And that's all you perceive. Basically, just your own body is all you perceive. So is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Should I heal you or should I do long?
Oh yeah, don't heal me.
Okay. So
Go for him.
longbow. I'm going to put down my dagger, put down my warhammer. Now take out my longbow and aim.
Okay, cool. Roll your longbow attack. I get a very Robin Hood vibe from this. It's +4 too, so you rolled a 3 basically. Okay, so you take
I
out.
get less of a Robin Hood vibe now.
So you take out this longbow, and you're a pretty buff lady. Is lady? I've got so many different players with different genders. Yours is a lady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take
I
out.
think we said I was like Brianna of Tart.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And longbows basically require hundreds of pounds of pressure to be able to pull them back. But you overpull it, and the bow starts to like bend and starts to like fold itself in half, basically, and the arrow just goes and like flops out of the bow, and it looks very silly. Would you like to move before OP's turn, or are you happy where you are?
Run after it.
Okay, you've got 30 feet of movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. OP's turn. Can you roll a perception check for me, OP?
Indeed.
With a perception of 6, you notice slightly more in that you smell like iron in the air, like the smell here has been very consistent, like decay, compost, rotting vegetables, and now you suddenly smell this sort of like metallic smell and you're not sure what's causing it.
Can I see blood anywhere?
Okay, make an investigation check. Okay. With a 9, you notice that there is some blood on the ground, but you're having trouble, like, because the torch has gone away with Medela, you're having trouble, like, pinpointing it, but you can sort of smell there's something on the ground here, but you don't want to, like, put your hands down too far, so you're trying to, like, mime your way to the blood, and it's not working very well. But you get the sense that it's there, you just don't know where.
Don't get you.
Oh yeah, that is weird. Christina, yeah. So what we were just saying is that in roll 20, I get Christina's rolls, but Christina does not get mine.
Oh. As in, they're not showing up in your chat window.
Yeah.
That's weird. Oh, I think Joachim might be whispering the rolls.
Oh, hang on. I remember I saw something about
If there might be a toggle that you need to like toggle off, or you might have. Was it in the settings? Did you like put like whisper all rolls on as a setting?
Oh, I do remember something about whisper.
It
came up with the question like, sure. Where do I find this now?
I think it might be in the lobby page that we can't necessarily get to right now. But luckily, like I can just announce them out loud, and then Christina.
It is on the TV because I got my character sheet and stuff on the TV.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And your face is on my computer, so she can still see it.
Okay.
So I'll just change it.
Yeah, we can deal with that. That won't be too hard.
Well, what I'll do is before it's too late, then I'm just gonna hurl my boomerang after the creature. Then
go for it. Do you know what the range on your boomerang is?
It's 60 between 60 and 120 feet.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oh, 25. Okay. You see this monk covered in blood, holding a quarterstaff in one hand, take out a boomerang from a completely different culture and throw it out. And I'm gonna draw how it goes because it's just that funny. You see over your shoulder, Medela, it just goes, and you see it gets it right in the neck, and it takes 8 bludgeoning damage. And it starts to look less, like it's starting to bleed from multiple places now, and you notice Medela, because your light extends pretty far in that creature's direction, that you see little drops of blood reflecting off of the light. And yeah, now that is the end of your turn, I presume?
Yeah, since I did all of that investigation shit beforehand.
Yeah, okay, so for its turn, it's going to do another dash action. So it runs basically twice its normal movement, and it's sort of out of range of your torch, Medela. But you can hear it getting about 60 feet away with like... And it is Medela's turn.
Okay.
Got the blood on me.
Yeah. Blood. That enough for us to on the flowers. Or
You can make an investigation check if you want to check for blood on the ground. Okay, with an 11, as you get closer, do you go forward this direction or back towards OP?
back to OP.
Okay, as you go back here, you can see OP kind of like on all fours trying to like sniff the ground, and you're not really sure what that's about. But as you move your light towards it, you see that the leaves that you used to disguise your snare are curving, like they're dead leaves, so they kind of like crinkle up like this. And you see like little pools of blood inside the sort of concave dead leaves, and you can see that there's quite a few little pools that you could probably harvest into an empty health potion glass or something like that. Sorry, vial.
I do have a flask or a tankard, a container.
A flask would be ideal to the situation, I imagine.
I guess I'll fish out my adventuring gear, and
Mhm.
I'll take as much blood as we can and put in the flask.
Okay, cool. You have some Demogorgon blood. Congratulations. But well done.
Yay!
Yay.
That was a good fight.
So you're standing there with your little vial of blood, breathing heavily after the
Well-
thrill of combat.
And also, I just need to get my mouse up here. I'm quite wounded, so I'm thinking we should find a little bit of a safer spot and not where we just fought it, and have a short rest so I can get some key back, and so I can also roll
Yeah.
for some heal.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah. I could potentially.
This is true. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can find a slightly safer space, where we haven't just fought, where we can be patched, where I can be patched up, and do so we're gonna do like a short rest, I think.
Cool.
Because let's see. And if I do a short rest, I get my key back, right?
I believe that is true. It'll say next to your key traits in your sort of trait section of your character sheet.
3 uses per short rest. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get them all back.
Sweet.
So if you click on the short rest button in your D&D Beyond character sheet, it might send it to Roll20, or it might just give you your normal roll your hit dice. Go nuts. It's got like a pre.
Oh yeah, it's got stuff here.
It'll
Reset maximum HP. No, it's not. Roll hit. Do I fill it in? How many I want to? Oh, okay. I'll try this. Right. Roll.
nice. So you got 2. So now you got 2 more health back.
Do I fill that in myself? Let's see.
If it didn't do it for you, then you probably have to add it manually, like add 2 health.
Yeah, I need to do that now.
Because probably it's using up all its ability to send it to Roll20.
I'll roll again.
Oh,
What?
1 unlucky.
And then I'll just roll again. I might.
Oh wow,
what the-
super unlucky.
Okay, so that's a total of 4. And then I'll take short rest and press the button and it confirms. Let's see. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't undo anything. It's fine.
It's like a
let's see.
little mini wizard.
There we go. Okay, so I'm back to 10 health.
And I can.
And Christina, and I got my key back. Christina can
Because if it's going to be short.
lay on hands pool. You have a pool of healing power, 15 HP per long rest. All right. Well,
Cool.
if you give me 8 and not 15.
Yeah, exactly. Then you'll have 7 left to like bring people back from unconsciousness and stuff like that.
And then I'm at full health.
Sweet.
Does that pop up in the thing? It doesn't.
Lay on hands? It depends. If you, to be honest, there's no real need to send it into the Roll20 unless we just wanted to read the details. Because with that one,
It would just be in case, so that you can. It would just be good to know how it works, so you can control what we're doing a little bit. And we
yeah,
don't
exactly.
just-
Luckily, I already know lay on hands like off by heart, so that one's fine.
Cool.
And so with my like
You can heal yourself.
divinity thing, healing. Do I also click short rest?
Oh, no, Channel Divinity, I think that's trying to say that you get to use that like once per short rest. So that means you can now use it again. But if you want to try to get hit points back, you could click the short rest button at the top and then you could roll hit dice. But you don't have to roll them all. You could roll 1 or 2.
If you just click the roll, see what we get.
Nice! That's a big roll.
That's a great roll. Are you back to...
It's actually probably because you have like 16 constitution.
So I need
17 even. It's bonkers.
Huge constitution.
Heal. Okay, so Christina is back to full, and then if you go to the short rest again, and then you click one of those, and then take, because then you know that you've rolled 2 of those. All right.
Nice.
Cool.
And mine says that I've used all mine. Anyway, sidetracked.
But you guys are standing in the middle of this forest, having put some of this creature's blood in a vial, and you've traveled not that far really from the cavern that had the flowers in it, because you basically left the cavern, thought, oh, I'll make a snare, and then probably like 4 trees later made a snare.
So, by the way, do I have my boomerang again? Does that
I'll
come
say,
back?
I'll say, yeah, it's a boomerang. It came back. You caught it.
I'm just thinking if it. This is actually a thing I've always wondered. When you have a boomerang as a weapon, the point of a boomerang is to throw it so it returns, right? But if you hit something, surely it doesn't return.
I've thought about that too. But I'll say,
It does return.
Yeah, and in video games it does.
yeah, but you'd think the impact would interrupt its flight path. So I think in the
Sure.
real world, it probably just allows you to throw like around obstacles, and then you just have to go get it. But I'll say in D&D world, you managed to throw it so perfectly that like a skimming stone across the surface of a lake, it just skipped back.
It just sliced the neck and continued around. And, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like like a scalpel blade on every side.
Oh, I should put that on it. Oh, it would suck to catch it, though, wouldn't it? Okay.
You'd have to know which end to catch it on. You just take out these giant pliers. What are those? Oh, those are my boomerang catching pliers.
We'll just have one of those hawk, like when you had. Like,
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
had-
like the leather gauntlet.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you guys do?
Well, we're fully rested and boomeranged. Shall we? Should we just pour some of it on one of the flowers and see what happens?
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll-
so you
we'll-
guys head back to the cavern, and you. What am I going to do with this icon? Hold on, I just want to see if I can.
I like this, so we can see where we are at.
Oh, you mean your little characters?
Yeah, it's very good for especially when you're in combat
Yeah,
to know
it's
where
cute.
people are and get a sense of things. I like that.
You drip some of this blood onto the flower, and you see it starts to move into that hologram Pokemon card style thing. It looks like you're looking at it from multiple angles at the same time, and then it peels open into this portal, and the other side of the portal looks much more like the real world. And you're at a very similar, if on the other side is a very similar cave entrance, but with more saturation and more color like normal. What do you do?
We'll go through, won't we?
Ready with Warhammer on shoulder.
And quarterstaff in a badass pose.
Nice.
And we'll just be like,
You awkwardly pose and like waddle through the portal.
And I'm ahead.
yeah, and,
As
and
always.
she walks first. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to use a cool feature now as we transition to this new location.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you're basically outside in what feels and looks like the real world again. You kind of recognize the forest around you as being similar to the environment outside of Orphea, the city that you woke up in. And it sort of feels like somewhere in the forest surrounding that city, in the sort of tangible, saturated world. And you see these flowers that look very similar, as if they somehow grow in 2 dimensions at once. And that's what you see.
It's cray.
Yeah, all kinds of cray. And I think this is probably a good chapter stopping point, but if you guys want to walk a little way into the cavern, just so I can show off the feature.
Yeah.
So yeah, say something like, I walk into the cavern.
I walk into the cabin.
Okay, you walk into the cavern, and about 15 feet later, you see a 10-foot wide stone corridor and darkness ahead of you.
That's cool. It's like fog of war in video games.
That's
right?
exactly what it's like. In fact, that is what it's called. So now say something like, I walk back out of the cavern.
Oh, yeah, we walk back from back to the flowers.
Darkness recedes behind you. All right, guys. After that tech demonstration, I think there's no way we can top that.